let this be a normal field trip? With a Frizz? No way!
Cruising on down Main Street, you're relaxed and feeling good. Next thing that you know, you see it.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Bootleg Universe Pitch Show, where we are bringing you our ideas about how to reboot or rejuvenate some of our favorite IP. I'm Sam Lasky, joined by Kenlyn Clark and Graham Hughes, and today Graham is going to be taking on another beloved childhood classic.
Because twisting your childhood memories is what I do, I guess.
I mean, that's the most on-brand bootleg can be, is taking something from childhood and making it R-rated.
Okay, we're going to jump straight into a cold open. Have a bunch of kids, maybe teenagers, running through a woods. They're panicking, they're out of breath, they're hiding behind trees. A T-Rex bursts through the trees, chomps one of them, just rips them up. The rest scatter. We get a sequence, like a very quick horror sequence of these kids getting one by one hunted down and eaten by this T-Rex until there's only one left. And he bursts into a clearing and sees a yellow school bus sitting in the middle of the clearing. He's like, yes, I've made it. Sprints towards it, almost makes it until the T-Rex finally catches him. And we just left with this school bus that kind of takes off DeLorean style from Back to the Future 2 and just floats off into a portal and is gone. And title screen, Magic School Bus.
All right. I'm going to plus it up just a little bit. I love it. I'm going to plus it up just a little bit. Two T-Rexes, they rip the first kid apart, or the last kid apart, like Richard Schiff in The Lost World.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. So this is the Magic School Bus reinterpreted as a horror anthology series. Ms Frizzle's as this crypt keeper type character who each season will abscond with a new group of school children, from the middle of a field trip or whatnot, and take them on a perilous journey where they must learn to survive. And we will learn over the course of one season or many seasons her backstory. She was never actually a teacher in life. She was like a school bus driver, but like one of those ones had like a lot of trivia and was like, I could be a teacher. And then like one day a prank gone wrong causes her to get run over by her own school bus. And her angry spirit possesses it. And now she haunts this school bus.
Wow. So she's like a ghost in the driver's seat.
Yeah, she's the crypt keeper.
Okay.
And yeah, so she'll find groups of children who are in the middle of field trips or whatnot, or just waiting for their bus, and will just take them off on a journey under the guise of teaching them, but it's really sort of a revenge thing. And so it'll play out like each season plays out like a horror movie or slasher or something, where like maybe every episode, one or two of the kids will die until there's only like a couple left. And then their big finale will happen, and maybe one will survive and maybe they won't. And it's like a Goosebumps.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. So now, they have to learn the scientific facts in order to survive.
Sure. Yeah. So in the case of our cold open, maybe she took them back in time to learn about dinosaurs, but just so happened to drop them in the middle of a T-Rex nest because hey, immersion learning, right?
So I know this was not a real thing. This was something they invented for Jurassic Park, that the T-Rex's vision is based on movement.
Yeah.
But that's the sort of thing of like, I read the homework. I know not to move. So it's almost got like a Saw kind of component to it of like, you better overcome
this explicit character flaw or gap in your knowledge if you want to survive this.
Right. And so what if so like the kids are basically, it's kind of like the Breakfast Club in the sense that these are all the kids in detention, or they could be like, the bad kids or something like that. And so you can kind of see where there could be like the arc. Obviously there's one kid who didn't do anything and was thrown into detention and is innocent, that type of thing. So they're like kind of like to lean into the horror aspect. Each one of these kids is guilty of something that has caused them to actually be there for a reason. And
yeah. And okay, so like when they go into space, She teaches them how to put on a spacesuit, and one of the kids was goofing off and not paying attention. And so when she opens that airlock, just go.
Yeah, all the lessons are like linked back to like certain aspects of things that they weren't paying attention to.
You contribute back to the original show where she would like transform them into, fish eggs or whatever. But
Right.
so you had opportunities for, bizarre body horror as well.
Oh yeah, I forgot about they turn into fish.
They do. They go through
That
the
is
whole life
horrifying.
cycle of a salmon. I think.
There's
Now-
also the Fantastic Voyage episode where they shrink down and go into somebody's
Yes.
circulatory system. It's like, it has to be, okay, during the lesson, you learned that what kills a white blood cell, like, I guess, HIV. But you have to use the HIV virus to kill the white blood cell or else it's going to rip you apart.
Students just like, this is really dark.
Yeah, wow, that is a fresh take right there on that IP.
That one's really, really brief because I don't have that. It's pretty self-explanatory. Doesn't require a lot of elaboration, but I think it's my favorite of the ones that I wrote down.
Right, because it's literally, you just take what the episodes were from the original series.
And you make them scary.
Yeah, turn them into a horror film.
Right.
Yeah.
They go spelunking one day, and then there's the creatures from the Descent.
Yeah, yeah. You can really switch. Yeah, you can switch up worlds and everything. Like it would
There's
be-
I think- yeah, it
they
has
learn
to be-
about atmosphere and weather, and they end up creating like a super tornado,
yeah, they can learn.
geostorm.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think every episode has to be pulled from like a classic elementary school science fair project, like volcanoes.
Oh, volcanoes,
they have to go
yeah.
inside a volcano at some point and get burned alive.
I was gonna say though they could you could even include history in there and like they learn
was-
about the
it was-
gladiatorial arena.
It was always science, right?
always science?
or was it? Did they do?
I'm
Did they
less
do
familiar.
time travel to?
I feel like there was a dinosaur episode, but I may have just made that up. I don't know.
I think they, but I think
was
they all
mostly
had to be
science.
science based. It was
Okay.
not history on top of it.
Okay, yeah, this is what this I'm familiar with this, but this was like more. This was a 90s.
This was our generation.
This is your
was,
generation. Yeah,
like
so
90s.
yeah, but I'm familiar with what it is. But yeah, okay, that's right. Yeah, interesting. This is a great take. Graham.
Yeah. And I do think it should. I think it should be like a normal class, not like Saturday school or detention or anything. I think it should just be
Oh, really?
because
Okay.
then you get the whole mix.
Yeah.
You get the
Yeah,
mix
you
of
get-
everybody.
You get
Okay.
you get the brainy kids, you get the sports kids,
And you
have
get you can build on the dynamic of the bully versus the nerd, and maybe they come to an understanding because the nerd saves the bully with his science knowledge at some point.
Right.
and you get a gold
you're-
star from Ms Frizzle.
Yeah, and then it does sound it sounds a little less expected, that when the turn of events happens, that you have these characters or these kids who, shouldn't even be there now having to fight for their lives.
Yeah.
So,
That's it. Yeah, this is a great pitch.
yeah.